All right. It has auto compression or a limiter? That's weird. All right, that's something that I'm definitely not gonna like. Alrighty, hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here for a lavalier system review. I've yet to review one of these microphones, but the good people at Comica have sent me this little dual wireless system. This, the name of it is the CVM WS60. I think it's an S. Is that an S? Looks like an S. Yeah, it's an S. Says it on here as well. So the system that I have and the one that I'm reviewing is, it comes with two of these little packs, two of these transmitters and one receiver. The receiver is back here. It is going into my mixer, but it took a lot to get that to happen. It took a lot to get that to really work and work out. I tried their cable, which I think this is the only cable they send with it. And this one is designed, I think this device is technically designed for things like smartphones or things like DSLRs. It keeps sounding like this thing's still a little hot. I don't know, like it keeps like peaking a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can turn this down on here. Okay, so yeah, this system really seems like it's for that kind of use, for DSLRs or for smartphones. It's not intended for, it doesn't really seem like it's intended to go into a mixer. The cable that I'm using right now is actually a stereo splitting cable. It's intended for one of these. Not one of these though. I don't know if you can see the difference. There's an extra black ring on that. I don't know how well you can see it. I never know until I'm in the editing, and then I always look stupid. But there is an extra black ring on this one because it's intended for smartphones. I think it's TRRS, and this one's TRS, I think. Because I think the R stands for ring. Not positive, don't quote me, but that's what I think it is. So, when you're going into like a mixer or anything like that, it's not gonna translate well with an extra ring. I tried using one of these before. I was like, oh wait, this got an extra black ring. This isn't gonna work. Never mind. And so then I tried using one of these, but I was like, oh wait, the connector to the device also has an extra black ring, so that's not gonna work. So I eventually had to go get a stereo splitting cable because this is an actual stereo device, because channel A, I believe, goes into the right channel and channel B goes into the left channel, and that's the lavalier system that I'm wearing right now. And this is the other one. So when it sends a signal, it sends one of the lavs, one of the transmitters, to one channel, to left or right, and the other one to the other side. And that's how they get through the whole having one transmitter or two transmitters and one receiver, is they split it in stereo, which can be a good thing, but means you're going to have to get a cable kind of like this. Now, the problem that I have is that I couldn't find one, at least, you know, within the nick of time, that was a TRRS. I found one that was a TRS, which is fine, but meant that I had to kind of, the cable couldn't go in all the way. If it went all the way, it would just shut the whole thing off. It's weird. The only way to get a solid connection was to actually have it slightly out. And that cable, by the way, is the one that works the best. I keep hearing this thing just, is there a limiter on this? The hell is going on? Now, the problem is that if I keep turning the output on this down for that channel, because fortunately it does have two switches for each channel, the more I turn it down and the more I turn up the mixer, the more noise I'm going to get. So I don't know what that means. It's a pretty clean mixer, so it sounds like it's coming from here, and the higher I put the output, the lower I can put this and the less of the noise I'm going to hear. Now again, I'm not using any compression, I'm not using any EQ on my mixer. You're listening to this basically the same way I am. The only thing I'm going to do is going to normalize it in post. That's it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some stuff that you get in the box. Now, I also want to say that I think I've reviewed lavaliers before. I mean, like the Rode SmartLav Plus, which I'm also wearing, and I do have recording at the same time, and I will do a side-by-side. I've reviewed other lavalier systems, but I don't think any other than, I think Comica did send me one lavalier that was sent to me, but it was one that had, it was one that had one of these on the end. It was an XLR. It was a pretty long cable. Whoop. It wasn't a wireless system. This is the first wireless system I think I've ever reviewed, never been sent. And some people were wondering, you know, how come I don't like review outside and I always review in here? My thing is not doing audio for like interviews or vlogs. It's not the kind of stuff that I do. I don't review and I don't do vlogs, and I don't, well, I do vlogs, but like this, but I don't do like on the gun, you know, running, holding the thing kind of vlogs all that much. And I don't do interviews, which is really what you would be testing if you were testing a microphone outside. When I use audio, whether it's for a film, whether I use lavs for film, or in here, it's always treated spaces. It's always hidden off-camera mics or lavs that are underneath the clothes. I don't use the dead mice or the dead cats and stuff like that. I use the dead cats if it's like a shotgun mic and it's windy outside. Then I'll put the dead cat on this bad boy. But I don't like using dead mice on the lavs, which this thing does come with. The reason I don't like using them because they're just gigantic. They're huge. They're massive. And if at any point in time you need to use a lav outdoors and it's really, really windy, so windy that you need one of these, why not just put the lav underneath the clothes? If it's going to be that windy, chances are it's going to be cold. Person's probably going to be wearing like an extra layer of clothing. And if you put it like underneath the clothes, you know, closer to the chest, sorry, just tap the mic, you're going to get probably better audio quality and voice quality than wearing one of these. Now, if you're doing like, you know, you're at a convention and you're interviewing people and you're, you know, you have two lav packs like one of these, which I think this is what this would be good for. And so you have one that's intended for the people that you're interviewing, and you would, you know, put the pack on them, and then you would just clip this to like the outside. That's probably what this is for. That's probably what it's, you know, intended for. But I don't use that, and I kind of don't like the dead mice. Also, they get the fuzz everywhere. They're nice, I just don't use them, so I don't review for that. So the stuff that I review is audio quality. That's it. That's why I'm recording it in a treated space. That's why I'm recording it in, you know, places where, you know, there isn't that much noise. That's how I review stuff. So, obviously you get two of these in the box. You get this one cable. You get two microphones. Whoop. You get two microphones. What else did you get? You get a little power cable, which I'm not a huge fan of this. I was not a huge fan of this. And you get one of these stands. Now, this is probably, of all the things that came in the bag, this is probably the most unnecessary. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to be able to, like, you know, put your transmitter or one of put the receiver or one of the transmitters on here. But at the same time, I'm like, why? That, you know, putting it on a stand this small is going to be just so far away from whoever it is that you're, or whatever it is that you're trying to grab audio on. Just drop something. Yeah. Okay. So me, I attach the clips, little belt clips, and I'm leaving those on. This is how I would use it. And the belt clips are pretty nice. They're pretty solid. They have a nice... Whoa. Hello? That was weird. The hell's going on? Okay. So, very loud noises turn these things off. I don't know if that's a mic issue. I don't know if that's a transmitter issue. I don't know if that's a receiver issue. It's definitely not the mixer. There's nothing on that mixer that would actually do that. That is weird. Okay. Jesus. Yeah, there's no limiters on these things. I mean, there's a low-cut filter or a high-pass filter, whichever you'd prefer, which I do not have engaged right now. But there's no, like, limiters on this. I don't know what that would be from. That's incredibly disturbing. I'll have to look that up. I wonder if it would be different if it was going into a different device. Maybe. So you get 2 of these, and these guys are really, really light. I would say that they are probably about the weight of an empty wallet. Standard leather wallet. They're pretty light. They are plastic, and you can hear the. Let's see if that's. Yeah, it's not the belt loop thing. Yeah, there's very little in here. These things are really, really light. So I'm thinking there's nothing analog inside these things. It's 100% digital. I think it's pretty much just a very small preamp, circuit board, and then an antenna. I think that's really all that's in here. It's all like the smallest, which isn't bad, which is not bad. I'm not saying that having a lightweight one of these is bad, but it being lightweight and having no metal parts does mean that there is potential that you could drop it and break it. It's definitely not waterproof, so avoid heavy humidity and rain. And I don't know, it's just too fragile. I would definitely not use this on any like professional film. Also, mostly just because of that cutout issue. That's pretty severe. Also, it takes AAAs instead of AAs. I would rather AAs because everybody on set carries AAs, basically. AAAs, not so common. I don't know why they went with AAAs. Maybe it's because smaller form factor, but I'm pretty sure you could have fit 2 AAs in there. But anyway, that's not the biggest issue. This plastic door, I feel like could come off very easily. That's pretty much it. Each one of these does have a port that you can plug them in to like a little power brick, a USB power brick. If you wanted, you just plug that in and power them via the USB-C port, which is nice, and the same thing with the transmitter. So I would probably have rechargeable batteries in, or the receiver, rechargeable batteries in the receiver, yet still plug it into one of these for redundancy. Redundancy, why did my voice crack like that? A little Stewie Griffin for a second. I would probably use one of these for redundancy. Now, the problem that I have is USB-C isn't all that common as of yet. Not every smartphone has them. I mean, there's a lot that do now, but it's just not everywhere. I actually had to go find a longer one of these, longer USB-Cs that I think I used to use this for, I don't remember what I used this for. I think it was like a screen capturing Elgato kind of thing. And I was able to plug it in and then plug it into the wall. But I did notice when I did that, I was getting some noise on this thing. Let's see if I can do that without ruining anything. I cannot get around that massive plug. Never mind. Just trust me, it was not doable. I don't know if it's because I was using that cable or if it's just USB-C in general. But yeah, so there are some cables that you'd plug into that you're going to get some noise. And I think a lot of that's because these are lightweight and these are digital. There's no analog anything in any of these that I can see or could imagine. And so when it's thin plastic and it's not metal, it's probably not shielded, and it's all digital, so there's a good chance that you're going to get interference, stuff like that. So these are the kind of things to just be aware of. Now, that's not the... What in the actual hell? Well, I didn't do any. the hell is wrong with this thing? This is not looking good. This is not looking good. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. That was literally not happening before. Like, at all. And I have no idea if it's that or if it's this. I may do a test plugging this whole thing into my phone later on to see maybe if it's the cable, something. I will test it. I will let you know. Okay, I don't even remember what I was saying. I don't even remember. These are probably not shielded. That's what I was basically saying. That's it. So what is this basically intended for? This whole system, and a lot of Comica products are intent for consumers, are intended for YouTubers. They really seem... You're being a piece of shit. I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know why you're doing this. Okay, do I have to talk quieter? Okay, fine. Comica really seems to be marketing towards YouTubers and people that create content online. A lot of their stuff seems to be aimed towards that demographic. This is one of those kinds of devices. It is lightweight, it's inexpensive, it's super portable, it comes in an amazing case. One of the things that I've always talked about and always praised Comica for is a lot of their packaging. A lot of their microphones, a lot of their systems, a lot of their devices come well packaged. And that has always been the case. The foam that it comes in is sturdy and rugged, and everything fits in the box very nicely. But not always do their devices stack up. I don't think Comica has any professional grade devices. Any professional grade... What? The hell is that? Any professional grade microphones, any professional grade devices. At least not that I've reviewed and not that I know of. Everything seems to be in the prosumer or consumer category, which is fine. It's totally fine. I love that there is a company that markets towards that demographic. Because for the longest time, people were, companies were just making gear and devices for professional and professional use. But it's nice that there are, and then there were people that were making really, really cheap stuff. And I like that Comica is kind of in that mid category, kind of lower mid category, at least for the stuff that I've reviewed. I'm positive that they have a wireless system that's better than this, as far as like the issues that I'm having. Maybe it's the one that I got. I don't know. This seems like the kind of issue that I'm positive they would not be going out of the factory like this. But so the cons are, obviously the cutout, that's kind of big, which I will test later in a second. Lightweight, the cables that it comes with, kind of too short, not a lot of variety. I would really like if it actually had an XLR, basically one of these, if it actually had connector for XLR, because that would work a lot better with a lot of devices like this. So I had to go find something that would work the best. It kind of has a lot of noise. It has kind of an output issue. I'm not going to test its range because I would never use it beyond the distance that they say it's good for. I have no reason to test it for that. I think this is more intended for smartphones, which I will try in a second. But I can say that the audio from the lavalier, when it's not cutting out, is actually really good. Is actually pretty good. It's pretty standard. I'm sure with a little bit of EQ, I could kind of bring up the mids and kind of take some of the bassy low end off. Because really all I'm getting is the chest noise. Really all I'm getting is the low frequency from my chest because that's where it's located. If I'm, of course, leaning my head down, you can get a little bit more of the high end. But I would want some of that. I would want a little bit more clarity. I want a little bit, more articulation in it. But you could probably attach a more expensive microphone to this device. You could probably take this wireless system, with all of its flaws included, attach a better or more expensive microphone, and you'd probably get some good results. Now, most of the noise that you're probably going to be getting with this system is probably going to be coming from the receiver, and that as well as the cables going into the device. It's probably not that much in the transmitters. Just, I think the going out, the popping out issue, that is probably in the transmitters. But we'll see. So, all right. Is it the capsule? Is it if air goes right into the capsule? Because I'm blowing this way. It's really starting to annoy me. All right, let's try to fix that issue. I am so sorry. All right, that seems to be fine, but I still had a little bit of cutout. And I don't know what it's from. Okay, so now it's not going into my mixer. The only thing that's going into my mixer is my shotgun mic, and that's reference audio for right now. I mean, I'm still getting cut off every now and then. And it sounds like there's a built-in limiter. And the limiter I'm just going to keep moving this, see if this does anything. And the limiter just keeps like capping or something like that, and it just cuts out the audio. And there's no settings. I can't change that. If there is a built-in limiter, I can't do anything about that. There's a low cut, like there's the cutoff. There's the attenuation switch. There's nothing else. It just keeps cutting out. Maybe it's the one that I got. Maybe there's something wrong with the one that I got. Maybe there's no issue with this one. But I just opened this. Brand new. Brand new. Just opened it. I'm in a treated space. There's no other Wi-Fi happening. There's no signal between these. This is how close they are. It's how close they are. I'm using the brand new, you can still tell that it's brand new because it's still got its formed shape, which I was going to talk about, like really thick plastic microphone cables, but I don't have time for that. It's hard for me to review this. This was sent to me by a client, and it's very hard for me to review microphones and systems when there's that many, when the majority of the system is fine. The majority of it's fine. If I was just doing like an interview with someone and I just needed microphones, I could probably use this. Especially if I'm like on the street and there's, going to be a lot of talking, there's going to be a lot of movement, there's going to be a lot of background noise. You're not going to hear the noise. You're not going to hear the preamp noise or the noise level that's from the device. You're not going to hear that. But when the microphone's cutting out and I don't know what's causing it, it's a huge deal. It's a huge issue. So I don't know. This device, let me quickly look up how much it cost. This device was a $240 system. It's a $240 system. And I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. With that noise, I cannot recommend it. I know this was sent to me by someone for review, but I will always give my honest opinion, always. I can't recommend this with that noise, with that popping out problem. I can't. I cannot recommend that to anyone. If that wasn't there, yes, this would be a legit product to buy. If there wasn't that popping out issue, which I have no idea, all I did was pick this thing up. That's it. I just picked this thing up. Sometimes I'm just talking. I'm not even moving around, and it goes out. Sometimes it seems like it has something to do with the cable. Sometimes it seems it has something to do with this. Sometimes it has something to do with the mic. I don't know. I can't recommend this. Not with that issue. If they fix it, if I find out it's just the one that I have, I'll do an updated video. But I can't recommend it not with that problem. I can't. I just can't. I would never do that to you guys. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I'm really frustrated. I'm really annoyed. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. The link to this product will be in the description, but do I recommend it? Not unless they fix that. Not unless they fixed whatever the hell that is. So, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new. Bell for notifications. And until next time, peace.